यदि गौरा न হইতো তবে কি হইতো মনে ধরিতামে রাধার মহিমা প্রেম রস সীমা জগতে জানা রাধার মহিমা प्रेम रस सीमा जगते जाना तक मधुर वृंदा विपिना माधुरी प्रवेश चातुरी साथ मधुर वृंदा ना माधुरी प्रवेश चातुरी वरद युवती भावेर भक्ति शक्ति होई तो कार यदि गौरा न होइतो तबे की होइतो मने धरे कांदे गौरा न होइतो गाओ गाओ पुनः गौरांगेर गुण सरल कोरियामा गाओ गाओ पुनः ये भाव सागरे मान दयाल ना देखिए कजान ना देखिए कजान हमें गौरांग बोलिया नागे नो गलिया के मने धरे रुदे गौरांग बोलिया वासुर हिया पाषाण दिया के मने गड़िया छे मने गड़िया छे यदि गौरा न होइतो तबे की होइतो मने धरे कांदे राधार महिमा सीमा जगत जाना तो के राधार महिमा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे राम राम हरे कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Gaurana hoito তবে কি হইতো কেমনে দরি কান্দে হরি গৌরানা হইতো কেমনে দরি কান্দে রাধার মহিমা প্রেম রস সীমা জগতে জানা তো কে রাধার মহিমা প্রেম রস জগতে জানা তো কে If Lord Gaura had not appeared as the Yuga avatar in this age of Kali, then what would have become of us? How could we have tolerated living? Who in this universe would have ever learned about the topmost limits of loving mellows that comprise the glory of Sri Radha? Who would have had the power to render ecstatic devotional service that follows in the footsteps of the damsels of Vraja? Indeed, the clever expertise of the Vraja Gopis is a prerequisite for entering the supremely sweet forest of Vrinda Devi. Oh, please sing again and again of the glorious qualities of Lord Gauranga. Just try to keep your heart simple. Not even one person within this ocean of nations has ever seen such a magnanimous personality as he. Even though I chant the holy name of Lord Gauranga, somehow I still have not melted in ecstasy. How then have I maintained the burden of this body? How has the Creator fashioned this body with a stone in the place of Vasudev Ghosha's heart? Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurvanmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Caitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamakyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namavom Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Tarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Ajanulambita bhujo kanakavadhatau sankirtanaikapitaro kamalayatakshav Vishwambharo dvijavaro yugadharmapalo Vande jagatpriyakaro karunavataro Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahoditau Gaudodaya Pushpavantau Chitrau Shamdau Tamonudau Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya 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 Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Welcome all of you for the most auspicious festival of Gaur Purnima today. I will seek the blessings of His Grace Anandamaya Prabhu and all other Vaishnavas to be able to speak on this topic of external and internal reasons for Lord Chaitanya's appearance in this world. Every year, when we arrive at any festival, something new we have to keep learning about that personality so that we can come one step closer to His lotus feet. Because the Shastras are oceanic and the message is very deep and grave. And oftentimes in our busy life of running here and there to put up our material lives and go on with our routine, we often may miss out many of the sublime teachings of the scriptures and maybe superficially coasting along in our spiritual life. But days like today is an opportunity for us to dive deep into some message of the scriptures in relation to that particular personality who appeared on that particular day. Like I have seen my spiritual master, whenever there used to be Goswami's appearance days, he would elaborately speak on their appearance, their activities, their qualities, and their relationship with Lord Chaitanya. And after we heard it several times, certain pastimes we started remembering when we would hear his lectures. So, in the same manner, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes we have heard in many yatras, and we may even know them also. At the same time, it is very important for us to internalize the purpose for which Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared in this world. You see, Srila Prabhupada says how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings are very basic on one hand and very profound and deep on the other hand. The same manner as Srila Prabhupada's teachings when he went to the West. Just today morning I was hearing a lecture of Prabhupada. He was telling to one gentleman, he was telling, before you came in this world was already there. After you die, the world will continue to exist. Then how can you say these things belong to you? It's a very simple question, isn't it? Before I came, these things were there. And after I leave, still the world continues to exist. Then how can I pick up something and say it is mine. It's a very simple teaching. So Prabhupada began in the Western world preaching with this kind of basic premise. Ishavasyamidam sarvam. And then he went on and on to give Krishna Prema, which is the ultimate thing. Same thing Sri Rupa Goswami does. He begins with Vachavegam, Manasavegam, looks like simple self-control. And he ends with Radha Kund. Goes to the most sublime teachings he is giving. Similarly, you will find Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings may appear very simple. Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Karo Krishna Shiksha. Somebody may say, oh, it is as easy as that. I just take prasadam and relax, that's all. No, it looks very simple, but it is very sublime. It involves deep faith in the process of devotional service. Therefore, when one hears the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you can see that he performed those apparently simple activities, very simple to perform, but with great depth of faith. For example, taking a chamar and showing to the deities, the pujari does. In home also, children can take a small chamar, lightweight chamar also you get nowadays. And even children can do that, isn't it? So it appears like a very simple activity. Anybody can copy it. Is it not true? What makes that activity special is the content, which is the Shraddha, Bhakti, Bhava. That makes all the difference. Because ordinary man can do sweeping. King Prataparudra is also sweeping. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was touched in his heart when he saw Prataparudra sweeping the floor, because he was king of Orissa. A king coming to the street and sweeping the road in front of Jagannath is not an ordinary thing. And Lakshmi ji in Vaikunta is also sweeping. That is even more extraordinary, because she is prosperity personified. She is goddess of fortune, but she is wearing costly dress and costly ornaments, and still she is taking a broomstick and sweeping. The activity is same, but the exalted position of the persons is different, and the attitude and their consciousness is one which is most important. So therefore, it is not enough for us to just know the pastimes. We have to be touched by the pastimes, and we have to become influenced by the pastimes. And we have to bring about some change in us after hearing these pastimes. And our life should not be the same. Day after day, month after month, year after year, it should become more and more blossomed. Blossomed in relation to Krishna. Just like lotus does not blossom at night, it is closed. But with the rising sun, the lotus blossoms. So Krishna is compared to sun, Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Haya Andakar. So when it comes to Maya, we have to close ourselves. When the sun of Krishna rises, we have to blossom ourselves. Because that's where the lotus blossoms, isn't it? Our heart has to blossom in Krishna consciousness as we celebrate these festivals. Then the purpose of celebrating festival is achieved. There are external aspects of a festival. There is an internal aspect of a festival. External aspect is the decorations we do. We have to do it also. We will definitely do it. And the programs we put up and the prasadam menu we make, and the puja and abhishek, everything we do, which will be done in every festival as expression of our affection. And the katha that we hear and the chanting that we do, it should actually lead us to one step forward in developing our consciousness. So this is from Adi Leela, the external reasons for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, and then later we will hear about internal reasons also. Please repeat. Anarpita charim chirat karunaya davatirna kalau samarpayitum unnatojvala rasam subhakti shriyam haripurata sundara dyuti kadam vasandipitaha sada hridaya kandare Swarato Vashachinandanaha. So this is Rupa Goswami's verse, a very famous verse. Anarpita means for a long, charim means for a long period of time, Radha Krishna Bhakti has not been offered in this world, which means long time means it was offered long before. But because the people became unqualified to be able to practice that Radha Krishna Bhakti, Yugala Bhakti, for a long time Acharyas have not presented it. Mostly the Acharyas presented Lakshmi Narayan Bhakti or Sitaram Bhakti. Because Sitaram Bhakti, if you study Ramayana, one can learn how to be an ideal human being. How a woman should be, how a man should be, how should deal with your brothers, how should deal with parents, how should deal with wife, how should you deal with praja, how should you deal with animals. So all that you learn in Ramayana, and most people will say it's wonderful, but that's not the ultimate goal of life. It may lead us to goodness by being a very good person or very good in your interpersonal dealing with everybody. That doesn't serve the ultimate goal. That may be helpful. But the ultimate goal is to awaken love for God. So, therefore, Radha Krishna Bhakti, which is not easily understandable, it was not offered for a long time. But Sripad Madhavendra Puri in our land, who got initiated from Lakshmi Tirtha, and then subsequently Ishwarapuri, and then next to Ishwarapuri, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they offered this conjugal love, devotion, and they presented it in such a manner that it will be possible for the jivas to grasp and practice and attain that highest platform of Madhurya Prema, Madhurya Bhakti. Samarpayitum, Unnata Ujjvala Rasam is calling the Madhurya Bhakti as a Unnata Ujjvala Rasam. Swa Bhakti Shriyam. Why is he saying Swa Bhakti? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is himself Krishna and he taught Bhakti to himself. And then he is saying, the second part of the verse says blessing for all of us. May that Lord Chaitanya, whose body is like resplendent molten gold, may he reside in the core of your heart. Hridaya Kandare. Because in our Hridaya Kandare, the gufa of our heart, the dark, black elephant of anarthas are residing. But Lord Chaitanya is called as the lion, who can... Hari means two meanings. Hari means Krishna, one who takes away Sarva Amangala Hare Yati Hari. One who takes away all inauspiciousness is called Hari. Another meaning of Hari is also lion. May the lion of Lord Chaitanya enter my heart and knock down the elephant of anarthas and drag it out of the gufa of my heart. That is another meaning of this prayer. So, you will see Lord Krishna in this world appears on 20th millennium of the 8th Manu. And only once in a day of Brahma, Krishna comes in this world. As you see here, he comes in various forms, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narsimha, and many other avatars also. He comes, but as Sakshat Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan, he comes only once in a day of Brahma. So, in the same manner, the same Lord Krishna, he comes as Chaitanya. So in the beginning of the lecture only, I have given you in three slides, external reasons and internal reasons for one reason. Because sometimes the lecture doesn't get over. So we leave the thing in between. So not to do that, I am giving you, in case I am unable to complete all the 3 plus 3 items, then at least you will know the heading at least. Therefore I gave the beginning only. The most important reason for which Lord Chaitanya came is Advaita Acharya's call. Actually, Advaita Acharya is Sakshat Mahavishnu, but adopting the mood of Sadashiva. As you all know, Lord Shiva is called as Ashutosh, one who is quickly pleased. But Lord Shiva also is known for his compassion. He drank the halahal and saved the whole universe, all the living entities. And his heart is full of devotion to Lord Hari, at the same time compassion for the conditioned souls, suffering souls. That is our good fortune. If the great Vaishnavas have compassion for the conditioned souls, our greatest adhikaris, they are conditioned souls. So they look at us compassionately. And Lord Shiva is so compassionate, he is compassionate even to the ghosts and spirits. He goes and lives in Shmashan. And they look at him and think he's also one of us because he has long jata and wears the ashes all over his body. But then he liberates all those ghosts and spirits by giving them human bodies and giving them chance to chant the name of Hari. So taking that compassion, Mahavishnu, he descends in this world in the form of Advaita Acharya Prabhu. And if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Adi Leela, all the tattvas are very vividly explained about Advaita Acharya Prabhu. Who is he? When Mahavishnu glances at Devi, Yogamaya, in that glance he is impregnating her with all the jivas, those who wanted to be independent of the Lord, isn't it? The person who transports the jivas from the Vishnu's glance to the Devi, that is Advaita Acharya. That's where he comes. That Shambhu glance, that is Advaita Acharya. So in that sense, he is an expansion of the Lord, and he is and he is like Mahavishnu, and adopting the mood of Sadashiva, because Sadashiva is the one. I mean, so Shiva is the Shambhu glance with which Lord is impregnating the Devi. Correct, no? So when he appeared in Bengal, at that time, people were found to be either very materialistic or materialistic in the name of religion. Either atheistic materialistic or showing some religiosity and materialistic. But the end result was both of them were materialistic. That's what they observed. Vaishnavas were in small number, but they observed that all over now the people were worshipping Mansa. Mansa Devi is actually a serpent goddesses. People were worshipping many other demigods. They were celebrating elaborate marriages. Sometimes they were even celebrating marriages for dogs and pets also. They were wasting their life. And they were gossiping. They were studying. It's not that they were not studying. If you see, now it was a seat of knowledge in those days. Takshashila, Nalanda University by Chanakya, if you see. Takshashila was one very famous place for learning in those days. University, Nalanda University. Similarly, Navadvip was also a seat of knowledge where all the Panditas would come. All the best of the Brahmins would come there to learn, but nobody spoke about Krishna. They would only talk all dry knowledge. So Advaita Acharya was very unhappy. He was the leader of the Vaishnavas. Then all the Vaishnavas would come to cry to him and say that people are so degraded, materialistic. They don't understand what is bhakti. They have no knowledge of devotional service. And in fact, devotees, when they are doing devotional service, other people would ridicule them, mock at them, criticize them. So at that time, there was Shrivas Thakur living in Navadvip. Shrivas, Shripati, Srinidhi, Sriram. 4 brothers. All were pure devotees of Lord Krishna. Advaita Acharya Prabhu was there. And in this way, Gadadhar Pandit. So they all would come together and discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. And Advaita Acharya Prabhu, at one point of time, told the Vaishnavas that this materialism cannot go on. He said, the only person who can bring about a change in this world is Lord Himself. Therefore, Lord Himself says that I come time to time. Isn't it? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkratam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So, Lord comes, when He comes and goes, the universe has a big change. He can impact the universe in a very powerful way. So, He said, I will personally invite Him to come, and if He doesn't come, and if these people continue their materialism, I will take my chakra and cut everyone to pieces, he was telling. So he roared like a lion, it is said, Advaita Acharya Prabhu. So the Vaishnavas felt great confidence. And the picture you are seeing here, Advaita Acharya Prabhu worshipping Shaligram Shila with Ganga Jal and Tulasi. And he called out Lord Krishna to appear by singing in Raga Shri. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama. This call went to the end of the universe. It penetrated the Brahmanda coverings. It went beyond that. It went to the Brahma Jyoti. And it crossed the Brahma Jyoti, entered into Vaikuntha, the spiritual world, and entered into the ears of the Lord. You can imagine how powerful and pure the holy name must have been. Huh? Therefore, Advaita Acharya Prabhu's pure calling out of the whole, inoffensive calling of the whole name is glorified. And later on, Lord Chaitanya says that I mainly came in this world only to please you, satisfy you, because you called me, he says. So this is the main reason, external reason. There are two other external reasons also, but Lord actually was considering to come after hearing that call. You will find Lord actually comes in this world by the call of some pure devotee. If you see Madhavendra Puri was sitting in the Govinda Kund, isn't it? And chanting the holy name. At that time, Gopal was inside the bush, some bush in Vrindavan, completely covered over with thorny bushes. Nobody could see also. But when Gopal saw that there is a pure devotee around, he's chanting the holy name continuously all day. Then he came in his dream and said, please, pick me out of this thick bush, cutting across the bushes and everything. And it's very hot for me inside. And I would like to accept service from you. So Lord very lovingly received service from Madhavendra Puri. 2 years Madhavendra Puri, every single day offered Annakut festival. So when Lord becomes pleased with the devotee, then he manifests in the house of a devotee to receive the service. Lord manifests himself. So that is his prerogative. Otherwise Lord can become unmanifest also. Similarly here, Lord Chaitanya manifested for the pleasure of Advaita Acharya and performed pastimes with him and with many other Vaishnavas. So that is a big advantage of Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, Advaita Acharya Prabhu, just 500 years ago, he made that call and Lord descended in this world. And this is the second reason to establish Yuga Dharma of the Harinama Sankirtanam. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, there are 4 series of verses. I can say 4 set of verses, I can say. In Satya Yuga, who is the person who came as Yoga Avatar? And what was Yoga Dharma? What is his name? Not only name, sometimes one Yoga Avatar has multiple names also, a dozen names also. They are given list of names, their activities, and Yoga Dharma for that particular age, and the nature of people in that age. I'll just show you quickly. We will see that. We will not get into that section, but at least it's important to see those verses to get an idea of how it is presented in the Srimad Bhagavatam. See, I'll just show you the series of verses. See, he's asking. It's 11:5:19. Shri Raja Vacha Kasmin Kale Sa Bhagavan Kim Varna Kidrusho Nrvihi Namna Vakena Vidhinam Pujyate Tadihochatam. Nimi Raja is asking a question here. Kasmin Kale Sa Bhagavan. Please tell me the different ages. And in different ages, Bhagavan comes in Kim Varnaha. What will be the color of his body? In this way, he's asking all the questions. Kitisho, Nribi, Namna, Vakena. What will be his name? And by what vidhis he should be pujyate? He should be worshipped. Please, all these things you tell me. He's asking. You see? Yeah. In what colors and forms does the Lord appear in each of the different ages? And with what names and by what regulative principles vidhina we should worship him? And then you will see that. Now one by one it will start. Shri Karavajana Uvacha Kritam Tretam Dvaparam Cha Kalirityeshu Keshavaha Nana Varna Vidakaro Nanaiva Vidinejjate. So Krita Yuga means Satya Yuga. And Treta, then Dvapara and Kali also. Ityeshu Keshavaha. Lord Krishna only appears in all these places. How? Nana Varna Vidakaro. Different Varna, colors in which he will appear. Lord Rama's color is green. Vishnu's color is Shyam, or blue color. Vishnu's like that. In this way, Nana Varna. And then he will come in different forms also. And then he is saying, and I will also tell you Nana Vidhi, different regulatory principles with which he should be worshipped. Now I am going to tell you, he says. And then he starts here. You see, from here it starts. Krite Shuklas Chaturbahur Jadilo Valkalambaraha Krishna Jino Pavitakshan Bibrad Danda Kamandalu. He's saying here, Satyayuga Lord is white and four-armed. What is his color? How many arms he has? And how is his hair? Yeah. What dress he wears? And also he carries a black deer skin. And also he wears a sacred thread, prayer beads, and carries a water pot of a brahmachari. See? Manusyasu tada shanta nirvaira sugridas samaha yajanti tapasa devam shamena cha damena cha. Then the people in that age, how they lived. Manusyasu tada at the time. What are the qualities they had? Shanta, completely satisfied, peaceful. Nirvaira, free from envy. Surda, well-wishers of all. Samaha, equal, they had equanimity to all, equal to all. Yajanti tapasa devam. People worshipped him with austerities and penances and meditation. Shamenacha damenacha. By controlling their mind and senses. Like that, each, this is Satyuga we're talking. We talked about the Lord, talked about the people. Then he is going to say here, what is his name? You may ask. Hamsat Suparno Vaikuntho Dharmo Yogeshwaro Amalaha Ishvara Purusho Vyaktaha Paramatmeti Giyate. And then he is saying his name, many names. He is glorified by the names Hamsa, Suparna, Vaikuntha, Dharma, Yogeshwara, Amala, Ishvara, Purusha, Abhyakta, Paramatma. These names is called. Okay. That's all. About the Satya Yuga is over. Now what is the next Yuga? Tretayam Rakta Varno Sau Chaturbahus Trimekalaha Hiranyakeshas Trayatma Sruvadyupalakshanaha. Now here again he is telling about the Lord appears with what complexion? In Satya Yuga, what was complexion? White. Now here also he has four arms also. And hair color? Yeah. And he wears a sacred thread. Triple belt means sacred thread. Yeah. And then he is bringing ladle, spoon and all. Because in Treta Yuga, what is the Yuga Dharma? Yajna. And in Satya Yuga was Tapasya and Dhyan. Now it is Yajna. Therefore he is bringing ladle and spoon with him, another thing, implements of sacrifice. Okay. And how are the people at that age? Tam tadam anujadevam sarvadevam ayam harim yajanti vidyayatraya dharmishta brahmavadinaha. People in that age worship the Supreme Lord. And then it is mentioned specifically dharmishta. Here Prabhupada explains the translation. Dharmishta means fixed in religiosity. Brahmavadinaha means they were seeking absolute truth. They are fixed up in religious practices uncompromisingly. This is which Yuga? Treta Yuga. See, number of qualities have reduced if you see. You are saying that earlier it was Shanta, Nirvaira, Samadrisha, and then Shamena, Damena. Many things were said. Suhrdaha. 7-8 qualities were said. Now only 2 qualities. Dharmishta and Brahmavadina. Only 2 qualities are said. And then his names are given. Vishnu Yajna Prishnigarbha Sarvadeva Urukramaha Vrishakapir Jayantascha Urugaya Itiryate. These are the names. What are his names? Vishnu Yajna Prishnigarbha Sarvadeva Urukrama Vrishakapi Jayanta Urugaya. Like that. And then what is the next stage? Dvapare Bhagavan Shyamaha. Who is Bhagavan Shyam? Krishna. Pitavasa Nijayudaha Shivatsadivirankaischa Lakshanairubalakshitaha. So in Dwapara Yuga, Lord is dark blue complexion, he wears yellow garments. Lord's transcendental body is marked with Srivatsa Chinha and Kaustuba and all that. Okay. Tam tada Purusham, how were the people in that age? Martya, it is said, they were mortals. Maharajopalakshanam Yajanti Veda Tantrabhyam Param Jignasavo and only one good quality they had. Jignasavaha, it is said. They were inquisitive about the absolute truth. Inquisitive means they will ask questions, whether they will follow or not, you can't say. But at least they wanted to ask question at least. Like that he is saying. So men who desire to know the Supreme Lord, who Supreme Desire, worship Him in the mood of honoring a great king, following the prescriptions of both the Vedas, and they were inquisitive. Okay. And then he's saying, and this is a prayer with which they worship Him. Namaste Vasudevaya, Namas Sankarshanaya Cha, Pradyumnaya Aniruddhaya, Tubhyam Bhagavate Namaha, Narayanaya Rashihe, Purushaya Mahatmane, Vishveshwaraya, Vishwaya, Sarvabhutatmane Namaha. So, why the prayer and all is mentioned here now? Because in Dwapara Yuga, the worship of the Lord is the main method. Puja, worship of the Lord. So, the mantras with which they worshipped Him, Nana Tantra Vidhanena, that's the thing. And then, Iti Dwapara Purvisha Stuvanti Jagadishwaram Nana Tantra Vidhanena Kalavapi Tatashrano. He's saying, in this way, Dwapara Yuga, people glorify the Lord of the universe. In Kali Yuga also, Kalavapi, people worship the Supreme Lord. Why is he saying Kali? Don't think Kali Yuga nobody worships. Kalavapi Tachruno. King must have told, okay, Kali Yuga has come, gone now. You may think, he says, no. Kalavapi Tachruno. In Kali Yuga also, I will tell you, it's not that people are all atheistic in Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga also, people worship the Lord. He says, now I'll tell you about Kali Yuga, he's saying. And then he goes on to say about Kali Yuga. What is the very famous verse? All of you repeat. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yajnai Sankirtana Prayair Yajanti Sumedhasaha. See, Krishna Varnam means that personality who will come in Kali Yuga, he will describe about Krishna. Krishna Varnam, he says. You know Varnan Karna. You know Varnan means? To describe. So he describes about Krishna always. You will find Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes about Krishna to Prakasha and Saraswati, to Sarvabhattacharya, to Venkata Bhatta, and he goes to Sadhya, to Ramanandara. You will see that. He delights in speaking about Krishna and hearing about Krishna. That is his main personality. And his Trisha means his skin is Akrishnam. It's mentioned there. It is not Krishna's color. You may say that if he is Krishna, then what is the proof? Krishna is Shamvarna. How is he now? Then why is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not Shamvarna? People may argue. Therefore, here he says, he is Krishna only, but his body is Akrishna. It is. So there is another verse, Shuklo Pita Stata Rakta. Like that, there is a verse by Garga Rishi. The other colors are all already done in the previous yugas. The one color that is not covered is golden color, which actually establishes Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the golden incarnation of Krishna. And then he's saying, he doesn't come alone. He comes with Sango Pangastra Parshadam. That is explained here. It will come. He comes with his servants, weapons, and confidential companions. See, below Jiva Goswami is explained here. Varnita means utters and describes. See here, Prabhupada explains here. Sango Pangastra Parshadam further indicates that Lord Chaitanya is Lord Krishna. His body is always decorated with ornaments of sandalwood and with sandalwood paste. His super excellent beauty, it subdues all the people of all the ages. Like that he, and then he's talking about his beauty is his astra. See, Jiva Goswami says here, what is his weapon? Yeah, like for example, he showed his effulgent beauty to Prakasha and Saraswati, correct? Immediately all the Mayavadis were attracted to him. Sarvabhattacharya also appreciated Lord's beauty also. So, and also he is all attractive. And also he says, he comes with his associates like Lord Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhara, Srivas. Yeah. So this is a verse which establishes Lord Chaitanya's appearance. And then there are 3 verses which talk about Ande Mahapurushate Charanaravindam. To that Mahapurusha I offer my namaskar. There are verses. So this is good enough for now. You see, To establish Yuga Dharma, just now I showed you the 4 ages, Satya, Trita, Dvapara, Kali. Please repeat this verse. Krite yadhyayato Vishnum Tretayam yajato makhai Dvapare paricharyayam Kalo tad hari kirtanat. So Krita Yuga means Satya Yuga. Dhyayato Vishnu, one should meditate on Lord Vishnu. Tretayam yajato makhai. In Treta Yuga you perform yajnas. Dvapare paricharyayam. In Dvapara you elaborate deity worship. And Kalo tad hari kirtanat. Therefore it is mentioned here, he came to give that Yuga Dharma. Is Yuga avatar coming to give Yuga Dharma? So, this is a second reason, external reason why Lord Chaitanya appeared in this world. Because in every age he appears to give Yuga Dharma. So, he is a Yuga avatar. One more place, there is a verse which says, in each age, those people who take the Yuga avatar seriously and worship him, they have a special advantage. Like you can worship Sitaram also, Lakshmi Narayan also, Radha Krishna also, but if you don't worship the Yuga avatar, you miss out something. You are losing something. What are you losing? You are losing the opportunity to be blessed by him, to get an extra upliftment in your spiritual life. Therefore, you will find Bhaktivinoda Thakur along with Gandharvika Giridhari established Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu raising the arms. Correct, no? You will see in all the Gaudiya Math temples and all you find that. And when Srila Prabhupada went to the West, he thought Lord Chaitanya raising hand is not enough. Along with him we should have Nityananda, who is considered even more merciful than Lord Chaitanya also. So, therefore he established Gaur Nitai. So Prabhupada told one Dhananjaya Prabhu, disciple of Prabhupada, that you make these Gaur Nitai dolls in profuse number and you sell all over the world. Let people keep them in their house. So some devotees asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, what if people buy them like dolls and they may not know who they are? If they just keep in their houses, how will they benefit? Prabhupada said, they may not know who they are, but those two personalities know who the people are. Prabhupada said, they will shower glance upon them. And what will be the result of their glance? These people will stumble across some devotees who will be selling Chaitanya Charitamrita sets. They will take the set and come and read the book. Suddenly they will wake up to understand the persons who are already in our house. Who are they? Shri Gaur Nitai ki. So, only due to our atheistic propensities, we tend to think that if we sing Gaur Nitai, how will people know? As if, we are the all-knowers of everything. We think like that due to our own foolishness. Actually, Gaur Nitai can recognize people. They can go to the homes of the people. So, Prabhupada said, distribute this Gaur Nitai in homes. Another advantage of Gaur Nitai at home is Gaur Nitai will not take any offenses. They are always very more merciful than even the deities of Radha Krishna. So, one of the Acharyas has made a comparison of the different forms of the Lord. He says the most powerful personality is Lord Narasimha. You can see how powerful he is. You can see how he destroyed the fellow who was the Triloka Adipati, Hiranyakashipu. At that time, he not only picked him up and put him on his lap and tore his belly. So he is most powerful, but still he is very bhayanak. He is very frightening. But then he says Lord Rama is also very powerful. Lord Rama killed 14,000 Rakshasas in Janasthan along with Karadushan. He is also powerful, but he is beautiful also. So he says Ram is more beautiful. He is not just angry, he says. And then he goes on to say, more merciful than Narasimha and Lord Rama is Krishna. Why? Ram only gave seva to the Vanaras for making Setuban, but Krishna gave them butter for the monkeys. He said, you did seva for me before, I didn't give you anything, now you take butter. Whom will you be very happy? Somebody gives you Mahaprasad, somebody gives you seva. Mahaprasad. Somebody is saying both. Isn't it? So Krishna is more merciful than Rama. Also, Srila Vishwanath Thakur says Krishna is more merciful. Why? Rama, Vishnu and all, they stand erect. And you have to really become extremely humble to go below their lotus feet to get the benefit of the 16 symbols, isn't it? Whereas Krishna is keeping his feet like this. So he's activating the 16 symbols. So he's more merciful. He's saying Krishna is more merciful like that. And Lord Rama rejected Shurpanaka, you all know very well. But the Shurpanaka again came in Krishna Leela as Trivakra. Her name was Kubja. And there Krishna accepted her devotion. She wanted to apply Chandan, he accepted that. And he purified her also. So therefore Krishna is more merciful, he says. And not only that, she came with the desire to connect with Lord Rama as a wife. Lord Rama said, I have taken Ekapatni Vrat. I cannot marry more than one, isn't it? But Shastra says that Krishna is more merciful because not only one or two, Krishna married how many? 16 of them. He is most merciful. He is accommodating so many queens, and in each palace of the queen is living in their palace. So therefore Krishna is considered far more merciful than Narasimha and Rama also. But you will find still Krishna puts some conditions. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam. Like that he says. After you do these two things, abandon all varieties of religion and surrender only unto me. Then he says what I will do. Aham tvam sarvam. Whereas more merciful than Krishna also is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He doesn't put any conditions. Dina hina yata chilo hari name uddharilo. Dina hina yata chilo hari name tara sakhi jagai mada. Hina yata chilo hari name uddharilo. Dina hina tara sakhi jagai mada. Aha Prabhu Nanda Sutta Vrishabhanu Sutta Yuta Karuna Koro He Baro Narotama Dase Koi Nate Liho Rangapur Toma vina ke aate amara. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Nittai Gauranga Jaya, Nittai Gauranga. Nittai Gauranga Jaya, Nittai Gauranga. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura, Hari Bol. So this is the second reason for distributing Harinam Sankirtan like this. Dena hina yata chilo, Harinam Uddarilo. By Harinam, this Gaurnitai and Krishna Balram are delivering the people. So Lord Chaitanya is considered even more merciful than Krishna also. Why? Because he is telling Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, hey Nityananda, Haridas, if I am standing in one place and saying Sarvadharman Parityaja Mahamekam Saranavati, people are not coming. Because Kali Yuga Jivas are very dull. Like a doctor sometimes sees that a patient is so sick he is unable to come to even hospital. So what does the doctor do then? He goes to the home. He carries a suitcase, stethoscope, everything. He goes to the home, isn't it? So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes, he told Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, you go to the homes, reach the holy name to the people, go and batter the door, Prati gare gare giya koro yeyi bhiksha. Bolo Krishna bhajo Krishna karo Krishna shiksha. Therefore he is more merciful. Patra apatra nadeki. It is said without seeing any qualifications he is distributing to people. At the same time, we should remember one thing. Although without seeing any qualification is distributing, we can't afford to take his mercy very cheaply. Because if we take it very cheaply, then we can't fully benefit from it. So one should be grateful for the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, which surpasses even Krishna's mercy also. So this is the second reason. What is the third reason? To distribute prema bhakti. Yeah. Freely, liberally. So Krishna himself experiences prema bhakti and he wants to give it very freely. Just like, for example, if an intoxicated person, if you go to him, sometimes he may, like one fellow, a drunkard came once to our book table in the marathon time. He picked up a book and we could easily see that he is stumbling. He couldn't stand properly. He asked, what is this? He was asking. The devotees told him it's Bhagavad Gita. You see it. So they were preaching to him a little bit. And that fellow accepted to take one. He accepted, he paid 200 rupees and he took the book. And also he preached to other drunkard friends also. So 4 more went because of him. Even in a drunken state, he benefited, this fellow. But in a drunken state, generally a person doesn't know what is happening externally, right? Similarly, Lord Chaitanya is drunken in Krishna Prema himself. So he is very liberal in giving to even unqualified people. You know the pastime of Lord Chaitanya lying in the Jagannath Vallabha gardens. At that time, Pratap Rudra came to massage his lotus feet and sing the Gopi Gitam song, right? No? At that time, Mahaprabhu became so pleased with him for singing the Gopi Gitam song. He became moved in the heart. So, and he embraced him and he asked him, please tell me who you are. And Raja never said, I am Raja. What he said? I am servant of your servants. I have no other aspiration, he said. So, Brithiya, he said, make me servant of your servants, like that the Raja prayed. So at that time, Lord Chaitanya was in a semi-state of consciousness. He was not fully in external consciousness. So he could liberally give mercy to the king. Otherwise, he would never go near the king at all, isn't it? Similarly, it's our advantage also for all of us. When a person is in a happy mood, that's the best time he may want to give charity. Correct, no? Like somebody has, completed a competitive exam and they cracked the exam. They are in a very happy mood. They distribute sweets. Is it not true? Many people. Same manner, Lord Chaitanya is in a happy mood experiencing Krishna Prem. So it's best, it's in our intelligence to go to him and receive the Krishna Prem gift also from him. So these are the external reasons. Actually, Krishna gave Prema Bhakti. He didn't give Prema Bhakti. He showed Prema Bhakti by demonstration 5,000 years ago. When he came in Vrajabhumi, he performed colorful pastimes. He thought that Jivas will see that and learn. But even after seeing that, Jivas didn't learn. Therefore, he came as a devotee, like you see, as his own devotee. And he's teaching how the Prema Bhakti should be practiced. And these are the internal reasons, 3 more internal reasons you see here. To understand the greatness of Radharani's love. So, this will be explained in the later part of the PPT, you will see that. There is nobody who has such Mahabhav like Srimati Radharani. She has oceanic love for Krishna, of which our love for Krishna is only a drop. We can say that every Jiva is part and parcel of Krishna, and the love that Jiva carries in his heart is a part and parcel of Radharani's love. We can say like that. So we all are carrying little love, like tiny Jivas, and she has ocean of love. And we are tiny expansions of Krishna, separated part and parcels. And she is a direct expansion of Krishna, Shakti. So Krishna himself developed a greed to experience what is so he wanted to understand the greatness of Radha's devotion. And also he wanted to taste Krishna's sweetness. Because Krishna thought, I am Krishna, how can I taste my own sweetness? Just like a lotus cannot taste, the lotus cannot know its beauty, its fragrance, the honey in the lotus. Can lotus experience all this? Who can experience it? Who can enjoy the honey in the lotus? Bumblebee, honeybee. Who can see the beauty of lotus? Somebody outside the lotus. Only that can see, isn't it? So the fragrance of lotus, the beauty of lotus, the honey in the lotus can be experienced only by a honeybee. Similarly, Krishna thought, my devotees seem to be more happy than me. So let me also become one of the devotees and look at me. To taste his own sweetness. Krishna comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of Srimati Radharani. This is the third one, to taste and experience. You want to taste the experience of the bhakti experience of Radharani, that he wants to taste it. Madhurya bhakti experience. That means, why Radharani is so attracted to me, she goes mad. She is always appreciating me. One time Radharani told her friends Lalita and Vishaka, look at that beautiful, Sham coming here. So when they saw that, they said, oh, that's a bluish sky. They said, no, you didn't see properly. You see the dazzling golden dhoti that he wears. They saw that and said, it's a sunset. Sunset is making some kind of, yellowish color on the sky, tinge on the sky. She said, you didn't see properly. See carefully, he's wearing a beautiful Vaijayanti mala. Then they saw that and said, oh, that is rainbow. They said, we don't see anything what you are saying, Radharani. Radharani was seeing Krishna even in the absence of Krishna also. So therefore Krishna wanted to experience her bhakti experience in her heart. That she sees, there is one verse in CC which says, yatra yatra netra padi, it is said, wherever Radharani's eyes fall, in that time Krishna manifested. It says that Krishna became Sfurti. In that place Krishna will manifest. Wherever her eyes fell, in that place Krishna manifested. It is mentioned in one verse. So that was her devotion. You all know very well, Radharani didn't open the eyes until Krishna came in front of him as a small boy, isn't it? That is the first time she opened the eyes. So Krishna wants to see her devotion and taste her experience. So therefore, when he descends in this world, earlier he was Shyam Sundar, now he became Gaur Sundar. You see on the left top picture, when he appears as Gaur Sundar, even the Devatas are all coming in disguise, assuming various forms. They are coming to the home of Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata. Sachi Mata is so innocent. She is wondering, who are these very effulgent and beautiful people who are, the Devas are also murmuring amongst themselves. They're talking and they're appearing in the house. Many guests came. Devatas invisibly appeared, some of them visibly appeared to give gifts and everything. So, one amazing thing with Krishna's appearance as Chaitanya, right from the day of his appearance, which is today evening, Vedanta Chaitanya will speak more on his appearance. He always made everybody chant the holy name. You will see that. There were even Brahmanas who would hardly chant the holy name, especially Smartha Brahmanas. They will only be chanting the Vedantic mantras, Vedic mantras. But on this particular day, when they were taking bath, due to the eclipse, they were also chanting Pundarikaksha, Govinda, Narayana, like that they were chanting the names. So, Lord likes to make them chant the holy name so that they will get more punya, they'll get purified. And then below you find, there is Nimai with the friends of Sachimata. He would dance and charm the hearts. Sometimes when he wanted to make them Krishna conscious, he would cry. And the only way they knew that he would stop is to chant, Hari, Hari! Hari! Then immediately he would stop. See, on the middle picture you see, one day Nimai was eating mud. Mother immediately came and caught hold of his hands and said, Nimai, what is this? You're eating mud. At home I am making peda and giving you. How can you eat mud? Peda is sweet and mud is not sweet. What makes you eat mud? So Nimai spoke Mayavad philosophy. You know what he said? Mother, ultimately everything is going to mix with sand only. It's all Panchamahabhut. Everything is one. He was speaking. And mother was very intelligent. She argued, she told him, see, from the mud you can make a brick. From the mud you can make a pot. But in pot you can keep water. In brick you cannot keep water. So everything is not one. Like that she established. So Prabhupada says, even a Bengali lady could defeat Mayavad. household wife. Prabhupada says. You can see Bengali mother. So Nimai Pandit purposefully spoke like that to teach the world how he defeated Mayavad even as a small baby through the mother. But at the same time, there are many pastimes which he showed, by which you come to understand that he is Sakshat Krishna or Sakshat Hari. One of the days in the backyard of the house, there was a snake crawling. So Nimai went and wrapped the snake around his body. He was catching the snake. And see, all the elders and others came running and said, "Hey, Nimai, it's so dangerous. If the snake bites, the child will die." But who was that snake? It is his most dear brother, Anantashesh. Seeing the snake, saw that all the relatives have come, they will be afraid. He didn't want to frighten them, so the snake slithered away. It went away like that. On the right side, I have shown that famous pastime of Nimai eating away the preparation made by the Brahman. Actually, this Brahman was a pure devotee. He was traveling devotee. See, I told you already in the beginning of the class, wherever a pure devotee offers anything, the Lord is eager to eat from his hands. The Lord is eager to be worshipped by a pure devotee. The Lord is eager to associate with the pure devotee himself. So this Brahman was a very simple and pure-hearted Brahman. Wherever he went, he cooked with his own hands and offered to Gopal, and only then he would eat. So when he came to the home of Jagannath Mishra, so there also he cooked 3 times or so. It so happened that every time Nimai would crawl and come there and eat away the offering when he is closing his eyes and offering the puja. The Brahmana every time got shocked that somebody has touched the food. It's not offerable to Lord. So finally the Brahman decided not to cook anymore and go to sleep when Vishnu requested him. One more attempt he made. But every time Nimai came and ate away. So at that time, the last time he gave darshan to this Brahman. So like you see here, he's showing his bluish complexion now. And he's playing on a flute, and he gave his darshan to the Brahman. So in this way, Nimai, even as a child, manifested his real identity. So there are many pastimes. I will not go into these pastimes. Like you see here, 2 thieves picking up on the shoulder. Nimai nicely ate peda from them and took them round and round, and at last brought them to his own home. And this is Nimai Pandit having a debate with Keshav Kashmiri. Later, as Nimai Pandit, as a child, he grew up. There was one phase of his life when he became a great logician. And that is the reason why even he came, Keshav Kashmiri also wanted to talk to him. He said, "I heard that you are a great logician in Navadvip. You are defeating many scholars and nobody can beat you. Now therefore I have come to have a debate with you." And then Nimai Pandit asked him, "What would you like to do?" He said, "I can write streams of Sanskrit poetry without any difficulty." And then he told him, "Can you recite some verses on glorification of Ganga?" So he told 100 shlokas, an impromptu, just flowing out of his mouth. He was such an eloquent scholar. So all the other boys are surrounding and watching. They were all, because in those days in Navadvip, if you want to show your heroism, you have to write Sanskrit poetry. Now people are attracted to Hollywood and Bollywood heroes and cricketers and all. Now, in those days, if you are a true hero, they would say that you eloquently recite some verses in Sanskrit. So, of course, Nimai Pandit could spot out in 63rd verse, Bhavani Bhartru. Like that, many corrections he told him, one of which I am telling you. He is saying that you are talking about, Bhavani's husband. Bhavani itself means she is wife of Bhava, Shiva. So then, what are you talking? What do you mean? Is it one more husband of Bhavani? So like that, when he raised many concerns, Keshav Kashmiri was defeated. So you can imagine in those days, many Brahman teachers would have the Chatushpatis under the trees, and they would give education, Nyaya. So he was the most famous amongst them. Every morning, Nimai Pandit would be walking with his students, with his effulgent moon-like face, with the secretary passing over his body, with his knot tied in the top, as you see him. Everybody saw him just like Shyam Sundar. But the only thing was, his color was Gaur Sundar. And all the Navadvipasis prayed that someday let him become a Krishna devotee. It was, actually, why did he do that? If you ask, why did he pretend to be not a devotee? Actually, he has come to practice devotion like Radha. Then why did he not manifest it? Because he wanted to teach the world with any amount of scholarship, you cannot attain the Supreme Lord. Until you get the association of a pure devotee like Ishvara Puri. That is one of the lessons he is teaching. So, this is a very another important phase of his life. You see here, Chandkazi's pastimes mentioned here. Nimai Pandit. Actually, Nimai Pandit had told everybody in Bengal that all of you sit in your homes in the evening near the door, invite people to join you. And even if you don't have Mridangam and Kartal, just clap hands and just sing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Boliye Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. After Nimai Pandit made this rule in all over Bengal, everywhere people could hear like this kirtan in the evening time, especially twilight time when the sun is about to set. Sandhya time, one should do Sankirtan, it is said. So, people were very happily performing kirtan in their homes. But then, when he was out of station, when he went to Bangladesh and was coming back, he was surprised to see in no home Sankirtan could be heard. There was pin drop silence. And he was taken by surprise. Why people are not doing Sankirtan? Then he came to know that the Chandkazi got the news that people are doing Sankirtan like this. They have become very bold and they are doing loud Sankirtana. It's vibrating everywhere. So at that time, Chandkazi personally came to the place of Shiva's. Even today, if you go to Shiva Sangan, you will find that it is written that Kol Bhanga is written. Kol Bhanga Danga, like that it is written. So in that place, he took the Mridanga and broke it. And he threatened Shivas and other brothers that if you organize Sankirtan here, and if you people are going to be rampant in spreading the holy name like this, then we will arrest all of you and punish all of you. And he threatened like that. And then after he left, all the people had developed fear. And that is the time you find here in the picture, Nimai Pandit led a civil disobedience movement, Prabhupada says, even before Gandhi, the first civil disobedience movement. Hundreds and thousands and lakhs of people all carrying the fire torches and going towards our Chandkazi's palace. At that time, the thieves were thinking that, oh, it's a wonderful opportunity. We can loot the people's homes. Everything is Kali. But when the thieves went to the homes, they heard the loud Sankirtan and they got confused. They got so carried away by the Sankirtan, they forgot the purpose for which they entered the house. Instead of looting the house, they also started making fire torches. And they also joined the Sankirtan. It is said. So here in the picture you find he's having a dialogue with Chandkazi. What is your loss if people are doing Sankirtan? Every jiva has the right to perform his dharma. He's preaching to him. So many nice things he spoke, and Chandkazi became friendly with him. Even today you will find there is one tree which is separating into two. One is what is the champak, is it? Champak, and another one is neem tree. So Prabhupada makes this very important point. Nimai Pandit was so powerful that hundreds and thousands and lakhs of people could be assembled by him by only one announcement. He was so powerful. And at the age of 24, when he had a beautiful and submissive wife, and his mother was a widow, at that time, he left his home and took sannyas. This is actually Nimai Pandit performing Sankirtan in Navadvip Dham. With, after meeting Lord Nityananda and Nityananda Prabhu, Advaitacharya Prabhu, Shivas and Gadadhar Pandit. This is a Pancha Tattva. Was flooding. Earlier the flood was happening inside the closed doors, Shiva Sangan, which is non-different from Rasastali of Vrindavan. But then he decided that let us take it outdoor. So he took it out on the streets of now the Vaishnavas are all chanting, dancing the Panchatattva. So, and of course he delivers Jagai Madai through Nityananda. So, and then subsequent pastime of Lord Chaitanya taking sannyas and coming to Jagannath Puri, yeah, and performing further pastimes in Jagannath Puri. As you see here, this is Lord Chaitanya going to Vrindavan. So now, where is the watch? Okay. Now it is philosophical. Till now you enjoyed very nicely. You did kirtan and you just heard only the main points. Now it may be a little philosophical, but this is also very important to know. I'll recite some shlokas also. Okay. See, excellent reason already I told you. To give prema bhakti, establish yoga dharma, and Advaita Acharya's call, and Advaita Acharya's call is the main reason. Okay. So you all can repeat after me some of the shlokas which I am going to display now. So the background before the external reasons manifest, that is shown here in these slides. Sakala jagate more kare vidhi bhakti. Vidhi bhakti vraja bhava paite nahi shakti. One more verse. Apane karimu bhakta bhava angikare. Apane achari bhakti shikai musavare. Two reasons I told you. To give prema bhakti is the first shloka. And to do inaugurate nama sankirtan is the second shloka. Two shlokas are shown here. So, what is the speciality of prema bhakti? See, there is Vaidhi bhakti, Raganuga bhakti, Bhava bhakti, and prema bhakti. So, Vaidhi bhakti means reverential admiration. Like all of us, we can ask ourselves, why am I doing chanting every day? Because Guru's order. Or there is a fear of death, or fear of punishment. So that is a very primitive factor. Vaidhi bhakti is done like that. And then Raganuga bhakti means the reverential admiration becomes spontaneous affection. One spontaneously performs devotion. So now somebody may ask a question. Prabhupada writes in one place in purport, in Nectar of Devotion. Yeah, Raganuga bhakta means he's very enthusiastic for performing devotion service. He rises early in the morning very enthusiastically and performs worship of the deities, singing the songs and chanting the holy name. Okay, now you may have a question. If somebody rises very early in the morning, 2 o'clock or 2:30, is he in Raganuga bhakti? You may have a question. Then Prabhupada defines it in another place. Raganuga bhakti means one should be above the stage of nishtha. That means he has crossed Anartha Nivritti, has come to nishtha, he is in the stage of ruchi. Ruchi onwards, Raganuga bhakti begins. So that means Anartha Nivritti should be over and he should have become fixed up in devotion service and he is enthusiastic for performing devotion service. So that is Raganuga bhakti. But beyond Raganuga bhakti is Bhava bhakti is even more advanced. There are 9 symptoms. Shantiravyartha kalatvam viraktirmana shunyata ashaband samutkantha namagane sadaruchi asaktistat gunakyane pritistat pasati stale. These are the 9 symptoms of a Bhava bhakti. Even more advanced than Raga bhakti also. Then beyond that is Prema bhakti. And that Prema bhakti to give Krishna appeared. That is actually called as the Vraja Bhava. Vraja Bhava is different from Vaidhi bhakti. Vraja Bhava is very advanced. In fact, if you want to know how advanced it is, you can see that Uddhava was a student of Brihaspati, correct? No? Deeply learned and is a pure devotee of Krishna. And Krishna himself glorifies Uddhava that Uddhava, you are such a wonderful devotee of mine that you are dear to me more than Lakshmi also, he says. You are dear to me more than Brahma and Shiva. And then Krishna went on to say, you are dear to me more than myself also, my own body also. Generally for all of us, what you look in the mirror, that person is most dear. Who is that? But Krishna said, you are more dear to me more than myself also. He said like that. So Uddhava is such a great devotee. And Krishna told Uddhava that, I have a special request for you. He took Uddhava's hands in his own hands. And he said, see, I left Vrindavan, my mother, my father, my friends, and all the gopis, and the cows and calves, deers, everybody is crying constantly. I keep thinking of them, but I am unable to go. So if you could go to Braj and pass one of my letters to them, only one line letter Krishna wrote. What is that letter? He says that since I am in the hearts of all jivas, you are never separated from me. That's all he wrote. So I am in your heart, don't feel separation. I am very soon coming back. That's all he wrote. But Uddhava took that letter and he didn't give it to them. He said, I'm going to give commentary to this, purport. Then Uddhava entered Vrindavan and there he saw the Vraja Bhakti of the Vrajabasis. How even the cows and calves and deers are all constantly remembering Krishna. What to speak of the parents of Krishna and Gopas and Gopis, especially Vraja Gopis. So after Uddhava saw their devotion, even in the midst of his talks about Krishna's pastimes, the Gopis went mad in Divyonmad. They started demonstrating the pastimes of Krishna dancing on Kaliya, Krishna, entering Aghasura's mouth and Krishna, lifting Govardhan hill and all that. And Uddhava had tears in his eyes seeing that. He said that I know theory and they know practical. He thought like that. I have studied all the theory. I am like a jnani. Whereas the Vrajabasis they have a heart flooding with Krishna Prema, Vrajabhava. So while leaving, Uddhava offered one prayer. Asamaho charanarenu jushamaham syam vrindavane kimapi gulmalata oshadinam yaduschadam aryapatam chekitva bejuh mukunda padavim shritibir Shrutibir Vimurgyam. He says that even the Shrutis cannot understand the Vraja Bhakti. They are very basic in comparison to the Shuddha Krishna Prema available in Vrindavan. So actually Krishna always does very things with multiple goals. When Uddhava came back, he said, do you know why I sent you to Vrindavan? I want you to pick up that Vraja Bhakti and go to Badrinath. There are some pure devotees of mine. They know everything about Shastra. They have practiced everything except Vraja Prem. That is one. And they have invited me. I could not go there. So I am sending you on my behalf, Uddhava. So after I return back to my abode, you should go to Badrinath and meet those saintly people. And once they learn Vraja Bhakti, their life will be complete. Otherwise, Vraja Prem is, even in Vaikuntha, it is not available. Vaikuntha, there is Aishwarya Bhakti. So Aishwarya Bhakti makes Shitil. He says that it makes our intimacy slack. Like for example, Vanaras like Sugriva or Vibhishana or Guha, or Rakshasas like, of course, Vibhishan, Guha, Sugriva. And these people all had a very reserved relationship with Lord Rama. From a distance they would, hear about him. They loved him, not that they didn't love him. They loved him, but they had some love mixed with fear. Vaikuntha is also like that. You have too much reverence for the Lord. Whereas Vrajabhava is much different. That's what he is saying. In Vrajabhava, Krishna likes it. It touches his heart. That intimacy of Vrindavan. In our lives also, when you have one or two intimate friends who don't respect you but deal with you in an intimate manner, you feel great joy in that relationship. Like somebody can barge into your house, go straight into the kitchen, open the fridge and take out a sandwich and eat. Sitting in there, relaxing in the easy chair. Sometimes people have such a relation. They talk to your mother like their own mother. They talk to your father like their own father. Correct, no? There are people like that. They know each other for 20 years, intimately. Like in Calcutta, there were two businessmen. These two businessmen knew each other for more than 30 years. They know each other. And they both are equally dharmic people, equally pious. And they are very fond of arranging Bhagavad Kathas and building temples for Krishna and everything. So once my spiritual master was telling, it's very rare to have friends like this. So he said, I came to know that more than 30 years your friends. I said, no, they were more than 45 years. They are friends, they are elderly people. So Krishna also rejoices in intimate friendship with covered boys and covered girls and cows and calves in Vrindavan. So he's saying that Sakala Jagate More Kare Vidhi Bhakti. Whole world is doing only Vaidhi Bhakti to me, which is more or less very formal. Vidhi bhaktiye vrajabhava paite nahi shakti. One cannot attain that vrajabhava simply by doing Vidhi bhakti alone without developing that intimacy with the Lord. So one boy was asking me, oh, it seems, Prabhuji, that Krishna has to be controlled, it seems. Then only he will be happy. So, do you think we should control Krishna? Like Yashoda is controlling him? You cannot control Krishna. Nobody can control Krishna, actually. Even Yashoda thinks she is servant of Krishna. Even Radharani thinks she is servant of Krishna. If you want to know, read the 7th chapter, where Advaitacharya Prabhu's chapter. It is explaining that up to Balaram or even Radharani or Yashoda, they all think they are who? Servants of Krishna. Nobody can control Krishna. He is a Swarat. But their love for him controls Krishna. They don't control Krishna. Their love for Krishna controls him. So, therefore, we should not try to control Krishna. Rather, we should try to awaken love for him. See, when Lord Chaitanya appeared in this world, 32 symptoms were seen. It's called Nagrodha Parimandala. He had a golden complexion, voice like a lion. And he manifested, like for example, such people's hands are longer than their knees. If any of you doubt you are Mahapurusha, you can stand up and check yourself whether your 2 hands are extending below your knees. If it is not extending below knees, that means we are not Mahapurusha. There are 32 symptoms mentioned. Yeah. So Shuklo Rakta Sata Pita, that's mentioned in the Bhagavatam. So therefore the Pita Varna is a Varna of Lord Chaitanya. Vishnu Sahasranam also there is a verse. What is that verse? So Varna Varnao Hemango Varangas Chandanangadi Sanyasakrit Samashanto Nishtha Shanti Parayana. So one of the 1,000 names of Vishnu is a sannyasi. You ask anybody in South India, who is that sannyasi form of Vishnu? Many people think, how can you say Vishnu sannyasi is aparad? They will say. How can he shave his hair? And that personality is who? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wears chandan on his body and he is sannyasakrit. He accepts sannyas. Krishna Varnam already explained to you this verse from the Bhagavatam, isn't it? He comes with his associates, with his devotees, and with the holy name weapon, he is competent to crush the Pashantis and atheistic people. Anyone who yajnaihi sankirtana prayair yajantihi sumeta saha. One who worships him through sankirtan movement is very intelligent and fortunate, he says. Sarva yajnasar. Actually, Mahaprabhu used to go place to place. He himself did sankirtan. So, sure, we can give me net you can give me. I'll just show one small thing. Okay? Okay, you don't know? You can give me an adjusting pen, right? I'll just show you something. Yeah. Actually, there are many quotes about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I'm not entering into those details from Upapuranas and Puranas and Chaitanya Upanishad. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has quoted Chaitanya Upanishad. It's very authentic. Can you put it here? See, you will find Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where is it? Right? This one, yeah. Correct. Yeah. Actually, these people are local, Hyderabad only. I am trying to find them out so that if ISKCON can provide them this kind of, good information, they could produce nice videos, right now. See, one of the things you learn from this video is we should use all instruments to glorify the Lord. Hmm? And our scriptures say that, especially we are a Sankirtan movement. You see, Yajna Sankirtana Praye, Yajanti Hisumesha. We should, not only that, we should sing His glories non-stop. Not only that, we should dance to the tune of the holy name. Mahaprabhu himself did that. He sang, he danced, he played instruments like Mridanga, Kartal. And not only that, we should not keep the holy name inside the doors, inside the four walls. We should take it outside. Like when we are going on for the Harinam Sankirtan, you see the dogs are looking up and watching. Cows are watching. So many birds are watching. They are all actually benefiting. Even the trees on the way, they are also hearing the holy name and benefiting. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching is this. Mukunda Madhava Yadava Hari Bole na bolo re Badana Bori Mukunda Madhava Yadava Hari Bole na bolo re Badana Bori Meche Nida Vashe Gelo re Rati Divasa Sharira Saje Gelore rate divasa. So you will see his preaching. He teaches that don't spend your time decorating your bodies. These bodies will fall away one day. And it's just like a dress over the soul. Instead, you chant the names of Mukunda, Madhava, Yadava, Hari. And you think Jivan Anitya Janahasar, that life is temporary in this world. And awaken love for Yashoda Sutta, Krishna. And that is the ultimate goal of life. And the holy name is like a madhu, it's like a nectarian beverage. Sing this holy name, chant to the tune of the holy name, and spread the holy name, lead a pure life. Understand Krishna is your mother, your father, your very life and life itself. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dana Pran. Worship Krishna, study the Shiksha given by Krishna. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching. And that is the meaning of the Yajna Sankirtana Praya movement. So even believers and non-believers, there are people who may not, who may be demoniac. Kaviraj Goswami says that don't see that like owls, they don't see. Like an owl cannot see the sun. Prabhupada says you have to lift his eyelids and show sun, he says. So, but the pure devotees could recognize Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fully. Yeah, I told you this one. Nama vino kali kale dharma nahi ara. Kali kale kaiche habe Krishna avatara. Kali kale kaiche habe Krishna avatara. How can I bring Lord Krishna in this age? Yeah, because Nam is the only Kalikal dharma. I want to manifest his presence here. By his devotion, then the whole world will learn. He thought like that. Yeah, see here. See, you can compare Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. See this table. Krishna says that Prema Rasa Aswadan. There is a verse which says this. Rasika Shekara Krishna Parama Karuna Ye Idu Ye Hetu Hete Premara Udgama Prema Rasa Niryasa. Like that, there is another verse also. See, Krishna comes for tasting the Prema Ras. And then secondary reason is mentioned on the other side. Raga Marga Bhakti Pracharan. And destroying the demons. That is incidental. Correct, no? So, same way, look at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is also doing the Prema Rasa Aswadan in three aspects. To know the greatness of Radharani, sweetness of Krishna, and experience of Radharani. That is internal reason. Correct, no? And he also comes to Raga Marga Bhakti Pracharan. And he doesn't destroy the demons. What does he destroy? Demoniac propensities. By Yuga Dharma, this thing. And the third reason is Advaita Acharya's calling. So in this way, you can compare Mahaprabhu's appearance and Krishna's appearance. And this is a very famous verse about the oneness between Radha and Krishna. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Hladini Shaktirasmat Ekatmana Api Bhuvipura Deha Vedam Gatautau Chaitanyakyam Prakatam Tadvayam Chaikyamaptam Radha Bhavaduti Suvalitam Naomi Krishna Swarupam. See, he's saying here, Ekatmana Api Bhuvipura. Radha and Krishna are one, but they have Bhedam. They have become two. Huh? Radha and Krishna are actually one as Chaitanya eternally, but they have become two for the sake of performing Leela. And then again he's saying, Chaitanya Akhyam Prakatam Aduna. Again they have become one in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also carrying Radha Bhava Dyuti. He is carrying Bhava also, Dyuti also. He is carrying the golden complexion also and carrying Radha's. We remember we were singing in the beginning of the class today. Yadi Gaura na hoito, tabe ki hoito, kemone dharitam de, Radhar Mahima, Prema Rasa Sima, Jagate Janatake. So he's carrying Radha's bhava also. He's Krishna, but in the mood of Radharani. His Swarupam is Krishna, but his bhava is Radharani. Therefore, Chaitanya is more merciful than Krishna. That means he's in form he is Krishna, but mercy is Radharani's mercy. Out of the two, who is more merciful, Krishna or Radharani? Therefore, Chaitanya is more merciful. That's a logic actually. Yeah. Like, once in Calcutta, one man was arguing with his Holiness Giriraj Maharaj. He was telling that, who is great? Krishna is great or Yashoda is great? Because Yashoda is binding Krishna, correct, no? Similarly, he asked, is Radharani great or Krishna great? So then when he asked Prabhupada said, the devotion is great. He said, that devotion is what subdues Krishna. Like that. See, this is a verse I told you. Please repeat this verse. Prema rasa niryasa karite aswadana. Raga marga bhakti loke karite pracharana. Rasika Shekara Krishna Parama Karuna. Ye idu hetu haite ichara udgama. See, very simple Bengali. See, Prema Rasa Niryasa Karite Aswadan. Krishna wanted to taste the Bhakti Prem Rasa. And Raga Marga Bhakti Loke Karite Pracharan. He also thought that if I come and perform Leela and Vrindavan, the world also will understand Raga Bhakti as superior to Vaidhi Bhakti. Those are the two goals. Then below verse, Rasika Shekara Krishna says that Krishna has two aspects. Which one are you attracted to? Ask yourself. Are you attracted to Krishna's sportive and playful nature? Or you are attracted to Krishna's Parama Karuna, compassionate? So how many of you are attracted to Krishna's sportive nature or playful nature? Okay, there are about 20 devotees. How many of you are attracted to Krishna's compassionate nature? Number is more, huh? It's almost double, I think. Whichever one attracts you, study the pastimes related to that. Like he showed compassion to Putana. He showed compassion to Aghasura. He showed compassion to Kubja. He's very merciful. And he is also very attractive by playing on his flute and attracting all the jivas by standing under the Vamshiva tree. So you can be attracted to him. Aishwarya Jnanete Sabha Jagata Mishrita. Aishwarya Shitila Preme Nagi Mora Prita. Amare Ishwara Mane Apana ke Hina. Tara Preme Vasha Ame Nahai Adina. Those people who treat me as Ishwar and bow down to me, they have a very formal relationship with me. See, imagine two friends. One friend is not so close to you. He may stand at the door of your house and ask your father or somebody, please may I come in? Correct, no? Then even if you say come in, he will never enter beyond the drawing room, the front room. And in fact, somebody has to tell him, please take a chair, sit on sofa, then only he will sit. It's very Aishwarya. So the intimacy is not at all there. And you have a very formal relationship with them. Like I remember, I had some friends with whom I used to go in the bus to our college. So If they would buy the ticket, I will pay them the money afterwards. Or if I would buy the ticket, they will pay me afterwards. Correct, no? And we will accept also, because the relationship is very formal. And if the relationship is informal, like my friend was in the front portion of the bus and I was in the back side. And we were so intimate friends that I didn't buy the ticket. I thought, who will buy? And he thought, he also didn't take ticket. He thought, I will buy. Finally, conductor caught both of us. Where is your ticket? That is the time I thought we are both are thick friends. We are confident that that fellow will buy. Of course, finally we both purchased the ticket afterwards. But the point is, even if he buys, I am not going to pay him money. Similarly, when I buy, he also won't pay money, because the relationship is very intimate. This can be understood very easily in our life also. See, Vrindavan, you go to, the Son Papdi shop, what is the famous one? Giriraj. Imagine your friend is buying 2 boxes. And if he's giving you one, immediately you will pick up the money and give 200 rupees something. Correct? Now you give it. Thank you. And you'll give him. And he may say, no, it's all right, he may say. But if you push a little bit, you'll accept. You've seen that, correct? That means relationship is formal or informal? Very formal relationship. Because you think that is your person, this is my purse. You think like that. On the other hand, if relationship is intimate, your friend is buying 2 boxes, you ask him, okay, one for you, one for me? Like that you can ask him, correct? No? You may ask him. Of course, if he's intimate, he may even say, who said it is for you I am buying? I am buying for my mama. He may say that. Isn't it? But then later on that last day of the yatra, you find so many boxes in your suitcase. What will you think? Hey, how is it that you kept it here? Then he will say, I told you it's for my mama. Who is mama? You are my mama, he may say. And that is intimate. And that intimate is, how many of you feel this intimacy is very sweet? But it's not very easy to get that intimacy with many people. Correct, no? Even Krishna hankers for such intimacy in friendship. In friendship, in Gopas, Gopis and cows. Everybody is very intimate with Krishna. So, therefore he is saying, Aishwarya Shitila Preme, Nahi Mora Prita. When the relationship is very formal, that doesn't touch my heart, he's saying. Actually, therefore, even when we do any service, we should do it with consciousness. Like if it is chill, cold winter, you should offer Krishna water, which is warm water. And also you are giving devotees Charanamrit, for example. And you give water for washing the hand. That water should be chill, cold, or how it should be? Warm. Similarly, you are keeping water for offering the deity and then you are sprinkling on the devotees. I remember in those days, they will keep chill water for offering, and then after the pujari takes the water and sprinkles. My Lord, you feel very, very cold. Yeah. So when I asked the pujari, how is it you can throw chill water on people? He said, what to do, Pujaji? Season is winter season. You would have to tolerate matras parshasa kaunteya shitoshna. Will you say that? So if you are a conscious devotee, you should actually be concerned that what will devotees this thing, One should think like that. One should be. Therefore, that means our bhakti should be conscious bhakti or unconscious bhakti? Conscious bhakti. One should anticipate what is right behavior. So, Mora putra mora saka mora pranapati. Yai bhave yai more kare shuddha bhakti. Apna ke bada mane amare samahina. Se bhave hai ame tahara dhina. See, those people who call me as Mora Putra, Mora Saka, Mora Pranapati. Who calls Mora Putra? Vatsalya devotees. Who calls Mora Saka? Friends of Krishna. And Mora Pranapati, the gopis. Yei bhave yei more kare shuddha bhakti. Those who do bhakti with this type of bhava. Apana ke bada mane, amare samahina. They think, like Yashoda here is sitting and churning butter. She cannot think of Krishna to be God at all. The Aishwarya Bhava never comes in her. She always thinks Krishna is my child. Sei bhave hai ami taharadina. That's what pleases me the most, he says. Like here you see here. Krishna is taking covered boys on his shoulder. Have you ever seen Lord Rama carrying Hanuman like this? You will see a picture of Hanuman carrying Ram like this. So that this intimacy is only possible with Krishna. Same way with Yashoda Krishna, this Radha Shyam Sundar. See, in this world, when a boy or a girl comes to the age of 12 or 13 or 14, the romance is something which comes in the teenager, in the thrilling years. So one madly becomes attracted and infatuated by the members of the opposite sex. And a lot of time goes in illusion or daydreaming. It goes in that. But it attains its perfection when one sees Radha and Krishna and understands the glory of their pure love. Because Radharani's love is compared to gold. And the attraction between boy and girl in this world is compared to iron. And Radha and Krishna, their bodies are Satchidananda Swarupam. Whereas in this world, the bodies are made up of what everybody knows. Isn't it? So, and their love is pure love. It's called a Tat Sukhi Sukhitvam. Like you see, Radharani in one prayer says that if me and my group of gopis, we are making garland for you, we are making a julan for you, we have made rose-scented waters to sprinkle on you, and we have made very nice bhoga to offer you, and we are waiting in the kunj for you to come and accept all these offerings. But you leave us and you go to Chandravali's group or another group, which means Radharani's heart is so pure that her goal is not her happiness. Her goal is Krishna's happiness. So you may wonder, what is this one group of gopis, another group of gopis? I'll tell you another simple example. See, you are asked to assist one devotee. You are rendering service. If he is senior, you will assist, correct? No? Now you are told, don't assist this devotee, assist that devotee, another devotee. And that devotee is your schoolmate and college mate. You both actually studied in school days, college days together. But now he is a HOD of a department and you have to assist him. And your superior says that if you assist him, I will be very happy. How many of you feel it will be a little difficult for us? Because you've seen him as equal, correct? No? We feel uneasiness. Like it really happened. 2 brahmacharis were sent to one project. And one was told, you are very good in cooking, you cook. And you clean the floor, wash the pots, keep the center very nice. Other brahmachari was told that you actually be a manager of the center. And the younger devotee came, the another devotee came running and said, Prabhu, we both are schoolmates and we are college mates. We are from the same village and we know each other from childhood. How is it that he will be manager and I have to be washing pots and cooking prasad? I cannot do that, he said. Then the devotees told him, see, you have some talent, he has another talent. So the leader told, you both are actually already thick friends. If you can cooperate in this way, I will be very happy. And this devotee said, you put me anywhere in the world except this one. Because, it is a ijjat ki baat hai. What will people say? People will say that, Arey, you both are friends and same college, same class, equal. In Krishna consciousness, how can you be his servant? People laugh at me. He said, Prabhuji, I can do more menial service than this also anywhere, except being with him. And this is what precisely we are talking now. If he thinks that the superior is very important for him and you want to please him, so what you should tell, Prabhuji, I feel ego problem with my equal friend. But I will put aside my ego problem for whose pleasure? Your pleasure. That is called Tat Sukhi Sukhitvam. All of you think for a moment in your life also, you might have faced ego problem with somebody. You might have gone to your authorities and said, Prabhuji, you can put me with any other devotee, but not with that fellow. But your superior finds that with that fellow, if you work, it will be good. Because it will be very good for the project. Then what we should do? Put your superior aside or put your ego aside? Yeah, put your ego aside. That's Sukhi Sukhitvam. Very simple. Karna was told by Duryodhana, hey Karna, you are my heart-to-heart friend. Many times you have claimed, I have claimed, we both have claimed to be each other's best friends. Therefore, I am requesting you, along with Bhishma Pitamaha, you fight. You also, both of you together, you fight against Pandavas. If you combine 1 plus 1 will become 11 and you can finish the Pandavas. What did Karna say? See, he will be commander-in-chief and I have to be assistant and I will fight and kill Arjuna and then credit will come to whom? Bhishma. I cannot do that, he said. Let that old fellow get down. Then I will go in, he said. If you want me in, he should be out. Or if he is in, I will be out. And Duryodhana was fed up. What kind of friendship is this? Is he acting for the pleasure of Duryodhana or acting for the pleasure of his own ego? This is what we have to give up on this day of auspicious day of Gaur Purnima day. If we can put aside our false ego for the pleasure of the superior, we would have made a lot of steps ahead in our spiritual life. Spiritual life would be very easy for us if we can do this one thing, which Radharani does. So that's what pleases Krishna the most. Hey mata bhakta bhava kari angikara apane achari bhakti karila prachara. By tasting all these rasas, I shall favor the devotees. By hearing about Braja and Nirmala Raga, devotees will worship me in Ragamar. He thought like that. And therefore Krishna descended 5,000 years ago. And incidentally, he also killed Kamsa and many other demons also. You see here, isn't it? So he practically demonstrated 5,000 years ago. Still the world didn't understand it. Yeah. So, then therefore, Radha Krishna Eka Atma Dui Dehadari Anyonya Vilasik Rasa Aswadana Kari. So Radha and Krishna are one Atma, but they have become two to experience the joy of this kind of conjugal pastimes. Yeah. So if you see in the spiritual world, there is Sandhini, Sambit and Hladini Shaktis. When you combine the Sambit and Hladini Shaktis, that is presided by Radharani called Swarup Shakti. And the Sandhini Shakti is presided by Balaram. Like that. So in this way, in the material world you find adulterated prema, which is lust. But in the spiritual world there is pure prema, there is love. Yeah. So therefore you see Kubja's love for Krishna is called as Kama Praya. It is called. It's not pure. Gopi's love for Krishna is completely pure. Yeah. So, see, Radharani expands herself into three forms. Lakshmi Gana, Mahishi Gana, Vrajangana. Lakshmi Gana are the Vaibhava Vilashamsa, they are called. Many Lakshmis. Lakshmi Sahasra Shatasambrama Sevimanam, we say. No? And then Vaibhava Prakash, Mahishi Gana are the queens of Dwaraka. They have become queens of Krishna in Dwaraka. And Vrajanganas are the, in Mayapur we have these 8 Sakhis. They are all direct expansions of Radharani. The Lalita, Vishaka, Tungavidya, Chitra, Angadevi, Sudevi. All of them along with Radharani. They're called Kaya Vyuha, we call them. If you want to exactly get the precise name, they're called Parama Preshta Sakhis. Parama Preshta Sakhis means very, very dear to the heart of Radha and Krishna. They're very dear Sakhis, expansions of Radharani. There are also others like Prana Sakhis, Nitya Sakhis, Krishna Snehadika Sakhis, and Radha Snehadika Sakhis. They are all next to these 8. Yeah. Please repeat this. Devi Krishnamayi Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sarva Lakshmi Mayi Sarva Kanti Sammohini Para. See, Radha, Devi means what? Resplendent, shining, powerful, and abode of worship. Krishnamayi means one who sees Krishna everywhere. I told you, wherever she sees, there is Krishna. Or one who embodies, she is like a sponge dipped in water, like that she is dipped in Krishna thought, Krishna remembrance. And Radhika is Aradhana, from that word Radhika has come. In Bhagavatam also that word comes, Anaya Radhito Nunam, Bhagavan Hare Krishna, there's one verse which says that, Yamno Vihaya Govinda, that verse talks about Aradhita. And Paradevata means is supreme goddess, worshipable for all, protectress of all, mother of the entire universe. Another verse, Jagatera Mata, the word is used, mother of the whole universe. Sarva Lakshmi means she's the original source of all Lakshmis, and she's full in 6 opulences also. And Sarva Kanti means her body is always having luster, shine, golden complexion. Yeah. And Sammohini Para means she enchants, Krishna enchants the whole world, and she enchants Krishna also. Madan Mohana, Mohini. Yeah. Yeah. Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shakti Man. Duye Vastu Bheda Nahi Shastra Praman. See, Radha and Krishna are Eka Vastu only. They are Vastava Vastu, the real thing. They are the only person only. But Krishna is called Purna Shaktiman, Radharani is called Purna Shakti. Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna. It's easy to remember. Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shaktiman. Duye vastu bhedanai shastra praman. Both are not different, like musk and scent, fire and heat, or sun and sunlight, but they have taken two forms to enjoy the mellows of the pastimes. Yeah. This is actually the internal reasons are given in this famous verse. Please repeat. Shri Radhaya pranaya mahima kidrisho vanayaiva. Swadyo yena adbhuta madhurima kidrisho vamadiyah. Saukyam chasya madanubhavatah kidrisham vaiveti lobhat. Tadbhavadya samajani shachi garbha sindau harinduhu. Yeah, see Radhaya pranaya mahima means the greatness of her pranaya. See, prema, raga, prema, sneha, and then comes pranaya. Like raga, anuraga, bhava, mahabhava, madhunokya mahabhav. The madhunokya mahabhav is actually Radharani's pure love. In each of the stages, for example, if you are angry inside, your eyes will be bloodshot outside. Similarly, if you are in madhunokya mahabhav, then your body will be what complexion? Golden complexion. Therefore, Radharani's body is golden complexion. So her pranaya is the deepest pranaya. Kidrisho va, he wanted to know. What is the greatness of Radharani's love? He wanted to know. Then swadyo means to taste. Yena adbhuta madhurima. Whose madhurima? Krishna's madhurima. Madiyaha. Madiyaha means my own. I want to taste my own sweetness. Then saukyam chasya mad anubhavataha. While doing bhakti to me, what saukyam she experiences in the heart. Saukyam chasya mad anubhavataha kidrisham vetulobhat. Like, for example, if somebody gives you gulab jamun, you eat it. Immediately there's a smile on your face. Sometimes if gulab jamun is very ecstatic, then you jump also. Correct, no? You dance also. Like we say, a fox, when he drinks honey, he jumps in the forest. Similarly, Krishna wanted to know that what is that delight that she gets while doing devotion service to me, that she gets the Divyonmad. All the Ashtasatvika Vikar manifest in her body. She cries, she rolls, she jumps. This kind of dance she does in ecstasy. What is that joy? Saukyam cha asya. Mad anubhavataha. Kidrisham vetulobha. These are the three reasons to understand the pranaya mahima of Radha and adbhuta madhurima of Krishna. Pranaya, please repeat. Pranaya madhurima of Radharani. Adbhuta madhurima of Krishna. Yeah. And Saukyam, actually Saukhya Anubhava. Saukhya Anubhava, that Radharani experiences. Clear now? Three words are used. The Saukyam that she experiences. Tat bhavadya samajani sachi garbha sindau bandhu. Therefore, richly endowed with her emotions, appeared from Srimati Sachi Devi as the moon appeared from the ocean. In this way. So, each of it is explained here about how Radharani experiences 10 million times higher than Krishna. Yeah. Yeah. And this is the second desire. See, if you see the heading, Krishna's first desire. Correct, no? That is explained in this slide. Yeah. I am Rasera Nidan. I am Purna Tattva. And I am Puranandamaya. But Radharani's love drives me mad. And always overruns me by seeing her. Therefore, I want to know her greatness of her love. That's the first thing. And second thing, Krishna Sweetness. 8 aspects of Krishna Sweetness are also explained further. So, if I see my sweetness in a mirror, I am tempted to taste it, he says. Actually, when once Krishna saw his own form, he is attracted to it, he said, what is the meaning of that? Even Vasudeva Krishna is attracted to Vrindavan Krishna. Because Vrindavan Krishna has how many hands? 2 hands. Vasudeva Krishna has 4 hands. Of course, I am purposely quoting that example because in Bhagavatam it says, another verse, that Vishnu, Mahavishnu is attracted to Krishna's beauty. There is one verse which says that. Anybody knows? Yanmartyalilau paikam swayoga maya balam darshayata itagrihitam vismapanam swasya saubagaridde param padam bhushana bhushanangam. There is a verse. Here he says that Saubagaridde is Mahavishnu. He is attracted to the 200 form of Krishna, he says. So Krishna wanted to taste his own beauty and sweetness. Okay. See, this is 6 characteristics of pure love of Radha and Krishna. See, first is, there is not even slightest taint of lust. And there is only desire to serve Krishna. And Krishna becomes indebted by that devotion of Radharani. And Gopi's joy nourishes Krishna's joy. Krishna's Sevananda is far greater than Nija Premananda. Which means, actually not just one delights in one's own happiness, but one wants to serve Krishna. There is a pastime of, this, what is his name? One covered, what is the driver of Krishna's chariot? What is his name? Correct. Once Dharuk was fanning Krishna, and tears were welling up in his eyes and coming down. And he could not see the beauty of Krishna. And also, he was thinking that my ecstasy is making me to fail in doing my seva. So which is more important for you? Your feeling of ecstasy is important or doing seva is important? Seva. So he wanted to do seva. So devotees even criticize their ecstasy. Hey, ecstasy, go away, don't disturb me, I want to do seva now. No? Sevananda is more than Premananda also. Never forsake the loving service of Lord Krishna to aspire for their own personal pleasure. I am not explaining these things, but these 6 things are worth meditating actually. I am going to conclude now with this. I am just showing you. Yeah, these are all already, therefore I briefly explained to you. Now I have concluded. I was planning to sing a song. Can I sing? One song. See, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is chanting, but what is he saying inside? It's Krishna from behind is watching. He's always Krishna conscious. So he taught us how to remember Krishna 24 hours. Where is the Karta? Gauranga Karuna Karo Dinahina Jane Mosama Patita Prabhu Nahi Tribhavane. Gauranga Karuna Karo Dinahina Jane Mosama Patita Prabhu Nahi Tribhavane. Gauranga Karuna Karo Dinahina Jane. Dante Trina Dhari Gaura Daki hai tomar Kripa kore hai soyamar Hridaya Mandire. Yadi dayana koribe patita dekhiya patita pavana nama
किसेर लागिया पडेची भवतु फाने नाही का निस्तार श्रीचरण तरणी दाने दासे करो पार श्रीचरण तरणी दाने दासे करो पार श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दासेरनो दास प्रार्थना करो ये सदा नरोत्तम दास गौरांगा करुणा कर निरही न जाने मौसमा पतिता प्रभु नाही त्रिभुवने गौरांगा मौसमा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग Nittai Gauranga Jaya, Nittai Gauranga. Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Srila Gurudev. Sadeva Pavan Harinama Sankirtana ki, Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj wrote one poem on Yadi Prabhupada na hoito. He says Prabhupada is more merciful than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. Because he is the one who has given Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not only to the people of the West, even for us also. If we didn't know such a merciful path like what Lord Chaitanya has given, we don't know where we will be. So that is another famous song he wrote on the Prabhupada na hoito. So Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya revealed Radha Krishna Prema, and Prabhupada revealed Gaur Nitai to the whole world. Prabhupada ki. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.